is our noun? Sarah?
Agricole and farmer.
Okay, well first, agricoli. We now, Parker, look at our ending. And this ending is telling us which conjugation is this noun in. Yes?
First.
First conjugation. So first conjugation, we have A for singular and I for plural, or AE. So is this noun singular or plural?
Now, Latin is a core subject of classical education curriculum that is worthy of the name. And some people wonder, well, you know, why Latin? Latin would seem to be a kind of a dinosaur in our modern world because they say it's a dead language. Nobody speaks Latin anymore. But that really is a terrible misconception about Latin. Not that it is spoken anywhere as a vernacular, but that it is a dead language. In fact, Latin is the foundational language of many others. It's a root language from which many, if not most, of Western language has come, and it has therefore a lot of value because it's a springboard. If somebody wants to learn other languages, to learn Latin will give you an into many different languages. But there are also practical advantages for studying Latin in other ways, such as vocabulary enhancement. You know, students who know, who have a large vocabulary, who have an arsenal of words, are to have a far greater advantage in any discipline or academic or vocation in life than those who do not. And the student of Latin has a great advantage in vocabulary, English vocabulary, than most other students. A student of Latin can probably figure out words he's never seen before because he can see words within words. Latin is probably 50%, a root of 50% of English words. Prefixes, suffixes, most of them are either Greek or Latin derived. And so it's easy for a student of Latin to understand what prefixes and suffixes mean. But vocabulary enhancement in the words that one already knows. Latin gives color to language. You're not just seeing black and white language anymore. You see things that a non-Latin student wouldn't be able to see in just simple words that most students would know. For example, prevent. The King James uses the word prevent in some ways that people today wouldn't understand it. But a Latin student knows that prevent comes from the Latin word venio, which means to come beforehand. It used to mean that, to go before or come before. But it's now derived to mean if you want to stop something from happening, you have to get there beforehand. Prevent. Or provide. We all know what provide means. But a Latin student sees something else in the word. It comes from video or video. To see things beforehand. Or to see that things are provided, are there beforehand. God provides for us by seeing what our needs are going to be. And if you're looking at video, then you look at audio in Latin. Auditorium would be a place where people hear, because that's what audio means. Or audience is a group of people who are hearing or listening. Or audit. A student audits a subject by going into class and listening without participating in tests or without getting credit. Or audition. We know it's a tryout, but it's a hearing that you get. And so we look at words like Volvo, which didn't originally mean a car, it meant Latin for roll. And so we have the word evolution, which means to roll out. Or revolution, which means to roll around back to the original place, to revolve. Or the word verto or verso, which means to turn. And we get reverse, to turn back or to turn around. or subverse, subversive, or subvert means to turn under or to undermine, or universe, which means to turn everything into one as a whole. And so you can see Latin words give color and meaning in addition to what you just simply get in the dictionary, in all of these vocabulary, and much, much more, of course, than this, just the little examples that I have given. You look at Latin as grammar clarity. I personally confess that I did not really understand English grammar until I had studied Greek. And Latin is a more precise language than Greek is. It's a very regular language. It's a very ordered, structured language. One cannot understand Latin unless one understands word relationships. One understands grammar. And the student who studies Latin will be far greater advantaged in studying English grammar. And finally, this brings us to analytical thinking. One of the students in our Latin classes who really loves Latin said it's like a puzzle, and it is exactly right. In English, you know what words, what place they are in the sentence by word order or structure, but Latin can just throw everything around, and you can put words in any place. You have to find what the subject is. You have to find what the verb is. You have to find what the direct object is, or the indirect object, by the case that it's written in, by the endings. You have to figure all these things out and put them in place like a puzzle. And that's analytical thinking. And it's transferable to other subjects as well. So that Dorothy Sayers, one of the most brilliant professors in England in the middle of last century, said Latin is fundamental to education. She put it this way. She said, "I will say at once quite firmly that the best grounding for education is the Latin grammar. I say this not because Latin is traditional and medieval, but simply because even a rudimentary knowledge of Latin cuts down the labor and pains of learning almost any other subject by at least 50%. It is the key to vocabulary and structure of all the Teutonic languages, as well as to the technical vocabulary of all the sciences and to the literature of the entire Mediterranean civilization, together with all its historical documents." So really, contrary to popular opinion that Latin is really only a dinosaur that we keep because of tradition, the fact is that modern education, which has dropped Latin because it sees no value in it, has lost a tremendous educational tool. That Latin is one of the most useful and pragmatic subjects in the classical